Megan from Off Fitness. I want to walk you through crow pose. In a lot of my power yoga classes and some of the other power yoga classes, we always offer an arm balance, and I think most commonly crow is the one that most everyone wants to attain. So I'm going to go through a few tips and tricks for you. A lot of times we want to do a good warm up to really think about those chaturanga arms that we talk about during our flows. So you can start in down dog and then float to plank. The same engagement in the shoulders and in the abs happens in crow. I really like to think about pressing down through the floor. Notice my shoulder engagement here. My fingers are facing forward and my belly is active and drawn up in under the ribs. So I'm going to shift forward and warm up with a couple chaturanga push-ups. And a lot of arm balances, we're going to find chaturanga. Good. And then rest. So in chaturanga, I'm making that 90 degrees with my elbows, hugging them in towards my ribs. In crow or plank or any arm balance, typically the fingers are facing forward, fingers spread wide. And again, you really want to find that engagement by pressing down through the hands while pulling the belly up and in. That will make that lightness feeling like you're not absorbing and sinking into the ground. So just a few tips. I like to have the hands shoulder distance. Again, the middle finger or the pointer finger facing forward. You're going to bring your hands down under your shoulders, and then I like to think about coming up on my toes like I've got really high heels on. So I'm going to walk up and then lift my heels like I've got on stilettos. I'm going to look down between my hands the entire time. So maybe not straight down, but right here towards the fingertips. So again, fingers spread wide, up on my toes, high heels. I'm going to think about pressing down through the mat and pulling my belly in. Now I want you to walk your knees as far as you can towards your triceps or your armpits, and then I'm going to use those elbows as shelf. I'm going to lean forward, making my chaturanga arms. So notice here I'm bending into the elbows, press down into my hands, belly up, and then I'm going to slowly float one heel up while I keep pressing down into the floor, shift my weight forward, and then my other toe floats up. Bringing the toes to touch, press down through the hands, belly up and in, and slowly the heels float towards the bottom. So I used my triceps as a shelf. Another way we see crow a lot is squeezing in from the outsides of the triceps, and that's okay too. And that'll look like this. I'm going to bring my hands down again. I'm going to bring my knees on the outside of my triceps, and then I'm going to slowly float forward, but I'm going to squeeze in on the outside of my hand, or my triceps. You can try that one too. If you're fearful of falling on your head, I've got a little trick here. You can use a bolster or a pillow or maybe a folded up blanket. And then just bring it down about where you'd land. I'm going to bring my hands down, my knees in. I'm going to float up. If I go too far, I'm just going to bring my head down without breaking my neck. All right, so you can try that. Maybe stack it up so you don't drop down as far as I did. Another trick is to take blocks. If you're wanting to get those feet up a little bit, you can kind of do little toe taps with your feet on the block. So I've got my pillow under my head, and I've got my blocks for my feet. I'm going to come up onto my blocks, toes touching, hands shoulder distance. Put my knees into my triceps or as high up as I can. Got my crash pad, and I can just kind of play with balance. Toe tapping. Always having the ability to come back to my blocks. Or I got my stacked up pillows for a crash pad. That's all I've got for you today. If you have any more questions, please email us or send us a direct message. All right, thanks.